And hello, I think we are live. Hello, Elizabeth, if you can hear me. Hello, Emily. And Ashley, hello. Hello, Dr. Benita. Thanks. Yeah, I hope the audio is okay as well. Well, yeah, welcome to Nottingham on this fine Saturday afternoon. Rock and roll, hello. So yeah, as per usual, I've started about 10 minutes early so we can have a little wander around, see that everything's working all right. And thanks, Emily. It's good to hear. Always reassuring. Mantas Kisalat, hello. Hope I've said that all right. What's that? You're in Lausanne, Switzerland? Very nice. And yeah, you might have seen I posted a cheeky link to my sister channel, so if you've not seen me travel from Buckingham Palace to Windsor Castle on the London buses, you can do so, which was a fun day out. Yeah, I hope everyone's had a great weekend so far. Hello, Susan. Welcome to the historic city of Nottingham. The tour starts at past, by the way. And MB, thank you. Yeah, excited to be here today. I'm doing it all again tomorrow in Bath, so that's going to be super exciting as well. It is, Elizabeth. Yeah, we've been given pretty much perfect weather today. I hope it's nice on the East Coast. Saturday morning here, just started. Mother's Day tomorrow in North America. Well, happy Mother's Day in advance to any American mothers. My bus tour was, for the last part, was still walking 2 miles. I mean, yeah, I could have caught a cab, but in theory, but that was part of the challenge was nothing except the London buses and my feet. So, but yeah, it was a fun little challenge, and it's like sort of introductory challenge, if you like. 75 Fahrenheit, is it? Nice, nice. Yeah, it's pretty much 20 Celsius here, or thereabouts. Just trying to think what it is in Fahrenheit, probably about the same. Well, yeah, there's a good point, Andy. But yeah, I'm curious as to what my next challenge might be. Rock and roll, we're on St Mary's Gate, by the way. Yeah, not many other passengers at the time. That's true. It was I was surprised how quiet it was on the roads on the day. I guess on account of most people were more interested in going to London rather than Windsor on the Saturday. But yeah, it means that I got the top deck to myself more or less on most legs. Oh, thank you, Cynthia. Thank you. And yeah, it was a bit of a rainy coronation day. And in contrast, it is a beautiful day today. But yeah, I did remark how it was kind of fitting how a British coronation should be done on a rainy day. But yeah, there's lots that can be done on just the London buses alone, so I'm kind of racking my brains for other challenge ideas. Top deck pie for one, exactly. That is how I roll. Elizabeth, as a business or friend, I couldn't say for sure, but I think to be honest, I think Ian answered that question. I think maybe as a friend kind of helps to avoid the fees, but I don't know about the legalities of that and so forth. So, yeah, I wouldn't know the right answer to that for sure. But as far as the money that goes to me, it's all good at the end of the day. You see a nice Jaguar. I must have missed that Jaguar. Oh, most guys do friends though. Ah. Hello, Catherine. Hello. Welcome to Nottingham. We are just a couple of minutes off the start time. I believe we might be able to hear the bells on the half hour. So if I'm wrong, we'll soon know. But yeah, just keep your eye on the clock. should be starting any minute now. Oh, indeed, Elizabeth. Yeah. Oh, and I hear bells. So I should probably get going. So greetings everyone and welcome to Nottingham. My name is Alex, aka 4K Explorer. You might know me from the immersive walks I do around various towns and cities across the country. And I've recently branched out into doing live walks now. Something I've been doing for about 9 months or so on a previous channel called heygo.com, which is where some people know me from. But now I've had to do it on YouTube now as the platform has since closed that we were doing it on. So we've made the shift over. So it means we're getting a more or less a 45-minute walk of a tour of the city of Nottingham. Just a couple of things to let you know of. As far as financial support goes and so forth, nothing's obligatory by any stretch, but there is, if you're interested in the super chat function, there's a rectangle with a $sign below the chat box if you want to check that out. There's also a PayPal option as well. The details are in the description of the video below. And I should say, by the way, thanks to those who have donated to me via PayPal. I should say thanks to Cornelia, Marta, Wendy, William, Gertrude, Marlene, Linda, Alan, Diane, all super generous, all of you, and it's much appreciated. Allows me to keep on trucking, as it were. Also, if you're interested in taking screenshots, there's some details on that as well. There's an extension where you can take as many screenshots whereby with one mouse click it'll automatically save to your downloads folder, and you're welcome to share those on social media, Facebook and such, if you so wish. And also I've launched a sister channel which some of you may know about, so feel free to check that out as and when. There's a link to that as well. But I should start to talk about Nottingham itself, as that's why we're here. So first things first, this stunning church that we have been looking at is St Mary's Church. It is the oldest parish church in Nottingham. The current edifice dates from the 14th and 15th centuries, although it was built on the site of an earlier Saxon church. And this is Grade 1 listed. And it's also known as St Mary's in the Lace Market because we are in the Lace Market, the historic Lace Market quarter of Nottingham, and I'll just explain that as we have a wander around this way. So it's lovely you could join me on this beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Nottingham. The weather's done us a favour for a change, and yeah, just to give some bearings. First of all, we are about 120 miles north of London, and we're slightly a bit west of London as well. And we're in Nottingham, which is of course the county town of the county of Nottinghamshire. It's also the de facto capital of the East Midlands region. If you like, it's the biggest city, I believe, in the East Midlands, with a population of just over 320,000. And so, like I say, this church is part of the Lace Market area, which is a protected heritage area. And there's a river way referring to the Trent, that's a little bit south of where we are. There's also a canal as well, so there's that to consider as well. So yeah, so I'll go into the early history of Nottingham. Of course, I'll address the area we're in now, the Lace Market. So in the 19th century, Nottingham was the lace making capital of the world. You bought your hiking boots in Nottingham when you visited to see a friend at Nottingham Uni. So it's called Check and Field. Oh, okay. Yeah, so yeah, it's a great university here as well. And so this, as I say, there's plenty of Victorian architecture here from where the old lace industry was at its peak. And so you'll be seeing several former sales rooms and warehouses around here. So there's a nice little example of that just coming up on the left hand side. Ciao from Florida, USA. Hello, Dan. Love and help from Uzbekistan. Hello, hello. Yeah, it's great, and people from all over the world can tune in to see me here in Nottingham today. And so, of course, with it being so sunny, I do have to take care to not get the sun in the lens, but which is a challenge in itself. And hello, Renal. So here's a nice example of the Victorian lace industry architecture for a start. And there's more to follow just around the corner. And so yeah, in the meantime, just to give you a bit of early history to Nottingham, it was first settled in circa 600 AD, and oh yeah, Maid Marian Way, that's the street we'll be heading towards indeed, Stephen. And hello, Emily in Canada, hello. And yeah, so settled in this about 600 AD by the Saxons, and but of course it wasn't plain sailing for them. Of course the Vikings came in the 9th century, the Great Heathen Army as they were known, and they typically infiltrated the British Isles through the rivers, and of course there's one river in particular here, the River Trent, in which they made their way in, and as such they were able to claim territory in the kingdoms of East Anglia and Northumbria, and they carved out their own territory called the Danelaw, and they established 5 boroughs of the Danelaw, and Nottingham was one of those boroughs. The others were Derby, Leicester, Lincoln and Stamford. Stamford, by the way, is a small town, well, a smallish town in Lincolnshire, which is absolutely beautiful. It's probably the least famous out of those 5 though, at any rate. So and now going back to the lace market, we have a rather stunning piece of architecture here. So we have the Adams building. This dates from 1855. It's a former lace showroom and a warehouse named after the lace manufacturer Thomas Adams, although it's now part of Nottingham College, by the way. So again, just a throwback to the 19th century when it was the lace making capital of the world, essentially. So, but moving on into this way. So, like I say, Nottingham was under control of the Vikings until about the early 10th century, when Edward the Elder and Queen Athelflaed of Mercia, both of whom were offspring of Alfred the Great, they reclaimed essentially what became England back from the Vikings, and so Nottingham was back under the control of the Anglo-Saxons. And in circa 924 AD, the first known bridge over the River Trent was constructed by orders of King Edward the Elder, which was in the move to fortify the settlement and link it to the south. And also as we head in this way, we'll see, which is quite a buzzing Saturday afternoon, almost evening here. And as well, in the meantime, we're just heading through the heart of the city.
Do you want to do one?
And so whilst we're heading into, as I say, the centre of the city, we can talk about the Industrial Revolution. So So it was in 1769 when the... Oh, we're back, are we? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, I'll bear that in mind. So yeah, so in 1769, the industrialist Richard Arkwright, he set up a spinning mill in Nottingham, and it was powered not by water but by horses, so it's still rather primitive, but nevertheless it was an important step into the early growth of Nottingham. And then of course in the 1790s the Nottingham Canal opened, which allowed it to trade with the neighbouring towns and cities. Just wondering if everyone still see or hear me. I'm not entirely sure. Hello. Okay, the numbers. Okay, I've just restarted the stream. Can anyone hear me?
Watch out, John!
Hello, can anyone hear me? Oh, are we back? Oh, okay. Yeah, well that was an interesting development. Okay, well we're here now, so let us carry on. Yeah, like I said, I have no idea what happened there, but I've just restarted my phone and relaunched the stream. So thanks for those who are bearing with me. I appreciate that. All right, so here we are, and this is the this rather iconic building. Here is the Nottingham Council House, and good to hear, Elizabeth. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, I just tried to regather my thoughts here. So we're at Nottingham Council House. Looks quite old, but it's actually built in the 1920s. It's from the built between 1927 and 1929. It's built in the neo-Baroque style with the Portland stone, which is the typical kind of stone that's used with this white colour, similar to what you see in St Paul's Cathedral and the like. But yeah, it's a deceptively young building. It's less than 100 years old. And I was going to show you the Brian Clough statue, but I don't know how many football fans we have here, and we may be pressed for time, so I'll prioritise Nottingham Castle and of course Robin Hood and his merry men, because when in Rome and all that. And so also the old market square which we're on now, this has its history going back to the 11th century. This was the point at which the Saxon side of Nottingham met up with the Norman side of Nottingham. The Saxon side being to the east where we started, the Norman side being over in this direction here, which is where the castle is located. And so this was also the original location of the famous Nottingham Goose Fair, which you may have heard of. The first fair was held over 700 years ago. Originally it was a fair showcasing the thousands of geese that were transported to the west here from the Lincolnshire Fens to be sold here. But the Goose Fair still goes on today, but it's a rather different affair. It's a fun fair basically, or carnival if you're American, and that takes place about a mile to the north of here, the Forest Recreation Ground, and that's on the first week of October. Is the Nottingham Goose Fair, if anyone's wondering. So as we head this way, we have one or two historic buildings to talk about. And again, just to reiterate, thanks for those who've been patient on this stream. Like I say, it's cut off for a bit, but it is what it is, and I appreciate you sticking around. So, and oh, hi Satyam, hello. Yeah, welcome to Nottingham. And so, yeah, we'll talk about Robin Hood and the legend behind that shortly. In the meantime, we're just in the dead centre of the city, and we are coming up to another church. And that is this one here on the horizon, St. Peter's Church. From back in the day, it was a literal goose fair. The thousands. So yeah, anyway, so this is, as I say, St. Peter's Church. It was built in the 12th and 13th centuries with 14th century tower and spire, which we're looking at. The tree does kind of get in the way a bit, but what if we move it this way? In any case, so yeah, so like I say, what was I saying again? Yeah, so anyway, so Robin Hood. Let's talk about Robin Hood. So the legend goes that Robin of Locksley was a supporter of King Richard I, Richard the Lionheart that is, in the late 12th century. And when Richard was away on the Third Crusade, his brother, Prince John, declared himself regent and imposed some punitive taxes on the Saxon descendants of Nottingham, of which Robin Hood allegedly was one of. And these taxes were of course enforced by the notorious Sheriff of Nottingham. And so Robin confronted Prince John, stating that that to declare himself regent was treason. So in response, John ordered that that Robin be executed, but Robin, he escaped into Sherwood Forest, which is about 20 miles north of here, actually closer to Mansfield than it is to Nottingham, incidentally. And then of course there's one point in which Robin enters an archery contest in disguise as a sort of a ruse in order to find Robin. For those of you who've seen any of the adaptations, whether it's from Errol Flynn or whether it's from the animated one with the fox, or whether it's the one with Kevin Costner where he can't be bothered to do an English accent, but either way, I'm sure you know a little bit about the legend, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But in the meantime, we have a very significant pub here. We are just outside the Ye Old Salutation Inn, and yes, I know ye is basically the in a special kind of where they did it at the time. Oh yeah, Errol Flynn was great. But you may be able to see from the gable end that this was allegedly established in the year 1240, which would make it, well, basically it's one of about 3 candidates for the oldest pub in Nottingham. And some would say one of the oldest pubs in England. And I believe someone was mentioning Maid Marian Way earlier, which is this street right here. Gives us a chance to have another look at the old Salutation Inn.
Right, mate.
All right.
Log in.
Yeah. And now on the right hand side will be the castle. In the meantime, there's a significant church here, which I'll talk about just as we cross over. So this one at the centre of the shot is St Nicholas Church, and in 1643, during the English Civil War, the Royalists used this tower in order to bombard the parliamentarians who were held up at Nottingham Castle. So kind of a significant deal there. The church was later destroyed the following year and rebuilt in the 1670s. So nice little bit of history there. But without further ado, let's head to the castle itself and a rather fetching statue, which we'll see just coming up as well. So in 1068, the Normans built the first castle in Nottingham. Of course, they made it from wood back in those days, and that was replaced in the 12th century in stone during Henry II's reign. And in 1642, August of that year, Charles I raised the royal standard from Nottingham Castle, which effectively marked the beginning of the English Civil War. And in any case, we have one or two statues to showcase right here. And the kids have claimed it seems, but well, that's okay. And there we are.
Hang on. Yeah, I'll do that in a minute. Hang on.
Just as the bells chime for 6 PM here in Nottingham.
Let's go. Let's go.
And so we've got a few other statues around, because it wasn't just Robin Hood, it was of course his merry men. And it gives me a chance to look at the legend of Robin Hood himself, because the first account of the legend itself comes from the from about the year 1377, but that account was set in not in Sherwood Forest actually, but in somewhere called Barnsdale Forest, which is actually in Yorkshire. So there is a common theory that Robin Hood wasn't from Nottingham at all, but rather he was a Yorkshireman. So whether that's true or not, of course we don't know, but Sherwood Forest itself never actually appeared in accounts until circa 1700, so they say. So it's all about a bit up in the air as to the truth behind the legend, of course, as we look at some more merry men, of course, here. And it's also worth noting that in the original account from 1377, the merry men featured were Little John, Will Scarlet and Much the Miller's son, whereas Maid Marian and Friar Tuck didn't come until later. This one says Robin Hood shooting his last arrow. And this one here says King Richard the Lionheart joins the hands of Maid Marian and Robin Hood, where it all ends happily ever after. Or so we'd have you believe. How far is Nottingham from London? They say it's about 120 miles north and slightly west of London. Emily, you grew up in a place called Sherwood Park. Lots of Robin Hood and Nottingham references. Oh, nice. Was that close to Nottingham itself, or? And then this one says Robin Hood, Maid Marian, and Friar Tuck with hounds fighting Guy of Gisborne's men. And there's one more this way. Robin Hood and Little John fighting on a bridge. Oh, I'll go to Canada. Ah, I see. Some places in Derbyshire claim Robin Hood connections. Yeah, so do you get to see Alex with a bow and arrow? Well, I left my bow and arrow at home, unfortunately, Cynthia. There we are. But yeah, so we're quite close to the Derbyshire border, actually, as it happens. I was just over that way anyway today. Yeah, I'll come back to Robin in a minute. I just want to show you the Castle Gatehouse this way. So the castle itself, it was what was it? Yeah, so they had to rebuild the castle in the 1670s, and they rebuilt it as a mansion for the Dukes of Newcastle. Oh, Neil, I'm doing what I can, but yeah, I appreciate you saying so. So then there's more strife with the castle in 1831 during the Reform riots, after the Reform Bill was defeated in Parliament, although it later passed the following year. That was where the sort of the more ordinary people, as it were given the right to vote. And but yeah, in 1831 they burned the castle down in protest, and then they had to rebuild it, restore it in the 1870s. So, and now it's a visitor attraction, and it says welcome to the Eurovision Grand Final fan zone. You know what? I had no idea they were holding this at Nottingham Castle, so shows you how much I've been paying attention. But there we are. But yeah, if anyone's in the Eurovision spirit, then feel free to let me know. I don't know what the British entrance like this year. But yeah, Nottingham Castle, it says it'll be reopened in June if anyone's interested in visiting within it. And also, you may have clocked a very nice timber framed building, which we'll have a closer look at. Oh, is it a bad song in the UK? It wouldn't be the first. So the building we are coming up to is a rather striking one. It is the Sevens building. Seven is an S-E-V-E-R-N-S. Dates from 1450, this right here, so that's in the reign of Henry VI, so going way back. Sometimes the worst one wins. Yeah, that is true with Eurovision. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, so 1450 circa that year's when this building dates from. It was built as a merchant's house. It was originally on the middle pavement up until 1968. That's just about a quarter of a mile to the east of here, and then they disassembled it and reassembled it here. It became a lace museum for a bit, and now it's vacant, which seems like a bit of a pity. Someone should really do something with it. But if anyone's got deep pockets, you could give them a ring, I don't know. But yeah, beautiful building. They put it to good use at some point anyway. And then we have one more very old building to show you. In the meantime, we're just walking around the castle walls as we are heading towards that direction. And there's a particularly old pub, one of, as I say, several old pubs in Nottingham. And this one's said to be rather old indeed. And hello, Shaquille, hello. Wouldn't mind buying that, only have no pockets. Yeah, it would be nice to win the lottery and buy a timber framed house, wouldn't it? But who knows. Yeah. So like I say, there's one final building on this tour to talk about. In the meantime, as I say, feel free as well to check out my sister channel, which I've recently launched. Some of you may have seen it already. I did a special challenge video of me going from Buckingham Palace to Windsor Castle using nothing but London buses. That was a fun day out. So, and it's a sort of an introductory challenge, so that one day maybe I can do something more ambitious, like going from Land's End to John O'Groats. Who knows? Who knows? The possibilities are endless. And in the meantime, here's one for the scrapbook if you're taking screenshots. A trip to Jerusalem in 1189 AD, which was the year that Richard the Lionheart came onto the throne, Richard I. And Richard, of course, was friendly with Robin Hood, if the legend's to be believed, but Robin was less friendly with Richard's brother John, who ultimately became King John, and that didn't go down too well. But and the old trip to Jerusalem is the pub itself. I'll show you the pub rather than just the sign as well, because this is one that is purported to be the oldest inn in England, although several pubs do make that same claim, and doubtless it is rather haunted as well. That could be a topic for another video at some point, who knows. But yeah, there we are, and so we are finishing up outside, as I say, the allegedly oldest inn in England, although you can always take that with a pinch of salt. And I see there's a quote from Lord Byron, who spent his later years in Nottinghamshire. It says, "Man being reasonable must get drunk. The best of life is but intoxication." So I'll drink to that. So yeah, other than that, just like to reiterate, thanks for those who stuck around in spite of the signal drop off earlier. I'm not sure what happened exactly there, but we'll see if we can work through that. And yeah, in the meantime, tomorrow I shall be in the stunning city of Bath. So just I'll be very excited to show you that, and well, to go back to Bath for those of you who know me from Hago.com, and in the meantime, what else should I say? Like the best ship shop in the UK, lots of them around. Yeah, they do make that claim a lot, don't they? Not many pubs are built into rocks. That is true. That's true. Neil, I'm not on Buy Me a Coffee as yet, but I do have a link to PayPal if anyone's interested. There's a link in the description there. And yeah, so in the meantime, there's that view there. And yeah, so I'll also be, if I do get some more free time, I'll be looking into making some more videos for the sister channel as well. It'll be interesting to see where I can take that there. Thanks to those of you who've already checked out those. Oh well, thank you, Alan, thank you. So yeah, so is there a bit more I should say about Nottingham, I wonder? So I was going to talk about the football when I got cut off first, because of course it's a city of two football clubs, or soccer if you prefer. So there's Nottingham Forest and Notts County. They are the two clubs that are closest to each other geographically of any pair of clubs in England, because they are on opposite sides of the River Trent. So you've got the city ground where Nottingham Forest play, which is technically in a town called West Bridgeford, and then there's there's Meadow Lane where Notts County play. Although Notts County are a few divisions below Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest are in the Premier League. They've got a bit of a relegation battle on their hands, whereas Notts County have I think they're in the playoffs to potentially be promoted to League Two. So that's for anyone who's interested in football, which I appreciate isn't everyone. Could I do something with steam trains as part of a challenge? Possibly, Susan. Yeah, I've never looked into the heritage railways. Maybe I should at some point. Is there anything else? But yeah, in the meantime, again, thanks for joining me here in Nottingham. And if you're around tomorrow, it'd be a pleasure to show you around Bath, of course, as well. And yeah, other than that, like I say, have a great remainder of your Saturday. And if you're around tomorrow, I shall see you there. If not, I'll see you when I see you. And have a great remainder of your Saturday, whether it be morning, afternoon, evening, and so forth. Until the next time, take care.